evening, this is Sue Scheets from sushystamps.blogspot.com, and this is my Technique Tuesday. This week I'm going to show you how to use an embossing folder in a different way. Now we all know how an embossing folder on basic cardstock can really enhance the background of a card, but I'm going to show you another way you can enhance it in a different manner. So I have taken this embossing folder, and I have embossed it on designer paper, just like that, which the first time I heard of this, I thought that was kind of strange. But then the next step is to take some kind of a sanding block and to sand especially the raised area of your embossed image. And when you do that, you're taking off the top layer of the designer paper, and underneath is a white layer. So this is not a solid color like our designer paper is. And so therefore you can see this wonderful swirl image and still see the designer paper underneath. So when I did that, I wanted to try a whole bunch of different cards or designer folders. And so I did some, and I came up with some definite ideas. So this is our brand new folder that's in the second part of Celebration that you can earn with a $50 order. And I did it on white paper so you could get a good look at what the design looks like. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it has multiple layers on it because this is one of the thicker distinctive folders that gives you like multiple layers. So you can see this flower is raised, and then there's some little leaves in the background. And I thought it would maybe make a really pretty sanded image. So I decided to try it on the black side. And what I found is that this design was not solid enough for the flower image to really show up when I sanded it. So I would advise not using any of these folders, especially this one. So the next thing I tried was this folder. I thought, oh, that looks like a bunch of leaves. Let's find a piece of designer paper that has flowers on it. And I think this turned out pretty well. Once I sanded the flowers, you can see the subtle layer of flowers, but the subtle layer of leaves, and then you can see the flowers in the background. So that was a good one. The next one I tried was this leaf this leaf embossing folder, which is one of my favorites. And you notice it's one of the thicker ones, and when you use one of the thicker ones, you only need one cutting plate. And so I put a Post-it note on the top so that my customers won't try to put two plates on there and wonder why it's not going through. So the first designer paper I tried with that was this purple butterfly, bountiful butterfly paper from the Celebration kit, and I do not think the leaves showed up very well. So I'm starting to wonder if light colored designer paper doesn't work as well as dark. So to test out that theory, I used the opposite side, and I did the leaves on that, and you can see now that the leaf image, once I sanded it, shows through, and I kind of wanted that look, like the butterflies were flying through the leaves. So I would say if you're going to use this folder, and probably most of the embossing folders, make sure that your background paper is a darker one. Next, I wanted to try this tin, I forget exactly what it's called, but I love it, don't you? It just makes such a beautiful design. And I picked a dark color, the stripes, and you can see that when I embossed it and sanded it, isn't that lovely? You've got that delicate little tin tile design on top of the stripes. I thought that turned out really good. And then my favorite one that I used was this dot folder, and it is in the Occasion catalog. And I love the fact that they're not perfectly formed, that there are different sizes, It's very my style. So first I tried it on the light colored butterfly paper, and it looks really good, but you can't tell that I sanded it. So once again, I tried my theory of getting a darker one. And this is from the Happiness Blooms designer paper. And I put the dots over the top, and I thought it turned out perfectly. In fact, this is my favorite one because you can see the circle that the sanding formed on each one of the dots. And yet you can still see some of the design of the designer paper below it. So this is a great technique to add a little variety to the back of your cards. And if you come back to my website, sushystamps.blogspot.com, on Friday, it's my Fun Friday posting, I'll show you some of these papers that I have embossed and sanded, and I'll show you how they ended up in cards. Thank you for stopping by, and have a great evening, and happy stamping.